Splatoon 3 launches soon, and the Splatfest was super fun. But unfortunately, this game has been a bit of a controversial topic in the Nintendo community, as many people think it doesn't include enough content to warrant being a true sequel. Regardless of those takes, I want to talk today about the positive. In fact, I want to talk about why Splatoon 3 could be a masterpiece and the best in the series. I got a couple of reasons, so let's jump into them. Arguably, none are bigger, however, than the fact that the lore of the Splatoon games no longer defeats the user experience. Now, ever since the beginning of Splatoon with Splatoon 1, the lore and kind of, I guess, experience that they're trying to push onto you of being an Inkling living in Inkopolis has often come at odds with the overall user experience. The main thing many people point out when talking about this is the fact that you had to watch the Splatcast like news things that Callie and Marie and then Pearl and Marina did in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Every single time ranked maps and modes were updated or you logged onto the game for the first time, you would have to watch them like very slowly say all the maps for casual turf war, all the maps for ranked, all the maps for league battles, whether or not in Splatoon 2 Salmon Run was open. And there was no way to skip it. And that's actually another point, Salmon Run. Salmon Run also, you could only play this mode at certain times because like the lore of the game was that Grizzco, the place where you're employed, is only open certain times. So it's like you're doing the shift, you're doing the night shift. Like you can't play it, at this time because Grizzco's closed for those hours. I guess it's a kind of cool gimmick when you first hear about it, but then when you're only able to play Splatoon at like certain times a day because you have school, work, or what have you, and then you can never play like one big mode of the entire game, it's no longer as fun when it gets to that point. And both of those have seemingly been, absolutely decimated within Splatoon 3. The lore will no longer trump the user experience. We don't have to listen to the new ranked modes every single time, we load onto the thing. We don't have to wait until Salmon Run is finally open. We can play it at any time. That is huge, and I mean, it should have been in here from the beginning, honestly, but it's huge. Next up, the consistent updates. So Splatoon 3 introduces something cool called catalogs, and for one season you will have one catalog, and then once that season is over, like fall, winter, spring, summer, once that's over, the catalog is gone forever. These catalogs include various items for your locker, various emotes, yes, emotes, and what is this? Various fashion items, etc. And while in Splatoon 1 and 2 we could kind of figure out when they were going to update with, new weapons or new clothes or whatever, it was never consistent. We rarely had it like, okay, this is the exact date. At least it wasn't communicated very well. But with these catalogs, not only do we know consistently when new stuff is going to come in, we also know when the older stuff is going to leave. Now, I'm not a huge fan of time exclusive content in video games, but I do think it is pretty neat that the catalog system encourages constant play of the game. Just like I'm encouraging you to constantly subscribe to the channel. Okay, back to the video. If you want to 100% this game, unless they introduce something in the future or there's something in the game they haven't told us yet, you will need to play and complete every catalog for every season because it seems like these items are not coming back once they're gone. Now, do you personally like this? Let me know down in the comments below. The completionist part of my brain is not really happy with this, but overall, I think it will be very healthy and will make people want to consistently play the game more, leading to more full servers, more easy to get into lobbies, all that stuff. Another reason is Big Man. Need I say more? Next, let's talk about the graphics. Now, let's be honest, Splatoon fans have been eating. They've been feasting. They've gotten 3 mainline entries in the past 7 years, starting with Splatoon 1 on 2015 on the Wii U, Splatoon 2 in 2017, and now Splatoon 3 in 2022. There has been more than enough Splatoon content as of late, and all these games have launched on HD systems. So at first glance, you might not be like, what graphical update? Like, you're so used to seeing Splatoon, and the changes have been so consistent and so gradual that you might not notice the big graphical updates they've been doing, but then you take a look back at Splatoon 1. Like, look at how the Inklings spawn in. What is this? Now let's take a look at Splatoon 3. Yeah, that does it. I mean, the graphics are just so much better. It's not just that everything looks better, it's more polished and more like graphically dense. I definitely think that is not the technical word to say, but there's just more stuff going on. Like, if you're walking around the hub world, it is jam-packed with things going on. There's more posts from the like Miiverse Splatoon equivalent on the walls, and and inklings everywhere. There's more little jellyfish swimming around. There's more shops. It's super vertical. There's just so much stuff to like look at here. Your eyes are constantly being distracted by one thing or another. And at least when I was playing on the Splatfest demo, there were no frame dips that I could personally notice. So yeah, I mean, the game just visually, this could be one of the best looking Nintendo games when everything's like said and done. All right, now let's talk about a gameplay change, and that is the movement. The movement in this game is absurd. Now, I think the squid roll is absolutely the biggest change in this game, which is funny because they really did not push it at all in the marketing because they're trying to make Splatoon 3 like good for casual players, and this is definitely going to be something that competitive players mainly gravitate towards. But man, this thing is super fun to pull off. All I did in the tutorial was just figure out how to, effectively use the squid roll, see if you can, combine it to peek around ledges faster, just see what kind of, I guess, multiplayer use this could have, because I played a ton of Splatoon 2. I got pretty into Splatoon 2. I have not played it though since probably 2018, 2019. So I was kind of like simultaneously getting my bearings back in the Splatoon universe and using out this brand new squid roll and squid surge, which is just super fun. So I really think that these will just help the competitive scene tremendously. And like, as one example of that, look at what I'm doing in this brand new lobby. With the squid roll, you can like just barely clip onto the top of this, and like if you pull this off competitively and you can find like the right applications for this, it seems nearly unstoppable because you just kind of appear and then are instantly aiming and shooting at your target. Like, what are they supposed to do? Especially if that hidden squid, I forget what it's called. I'll put it on screen right now. If that power up on the clothes is still here, where you can make your like squid form character like completely invisible and just slightly slower, like how are you supposed to stop that? Next up, I want to talk about the last Splatfest. So spoilers for Splatoon 1 and 2's story here. So if you care about that, I guess just click off the video, whatever. So Splatoon 1, Callie and Marie were the two like idols, and Callie lost the final Splatfest because this final Splatfest in Splatoon 1 was literally Callie versus Marie, and Callie lost, so she ended up being a villain in Splatoon 2. Granted, she was like brainwashed and all that, but the final Splatfest of Splatoon 1 played a huge role in the campaign of Splatoon 2. Marie was like your mentor, and Callie was, the villain, the mysterious villain who was revealed at the end. So absolutely crazy, like really cool that Nintendo made a Splatfest, like a community decided Splatfest, play a role in the story for the next game. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're gonna do with this game as well, because Chaos versus Order was the final Splatfest of Splatoon 2, the biggest Splatfest Nintendo's ever thrown. It was called like Splat Anarchy or something, like the Anarchy Splatfest, I don't know, whatever it was. Chaos versus Order lost, so Chaos reigned supreme, and I really hope that's explored in this brand new campaign, which is supposed to be the final conclusion to this Splat-tastic saga, which is what they said in the Nintendo Direct. So hopefully Chaos versus Order is kind of explored here, because Chaos currently is reigning supreme because they won in the last Splatfest. I don't know if that's going to be in the main campaign or whatever they do with like what's their name, Pearl and Marina, in that like expanded DLC thing. Who knows? All right, last thing I just want to quickly mention, Better Online. The Nintendo Switch, its online service works. I mean, it's decent, but Splatoon has always been relatively good about their online like connectivity. Like even on the Wii U, the game was very smooth for a Nintendo online game at the time. And now it looks like Nintendo's really hitting their stride and understanding what people want within an online game. Like the fact that we can queue in and also be in the practice arena now, this seems like something like, yeah, okay, this is a competitive like shooter. This should have always been a feature. Obviously that it hasn't, but like this is something that just kind of proves to show that Nintendo is getting to understand online more. They're understanding what their consumers want from online more. We don't want to look at a menu and wait for people to, come into the Nintendo Switch like lobby and just wait there. Like we can wait while also being in the general, like splat zone. I forget what it's called, like the test fire area. It's super unique. It's super cool. It's just something that like I've always kind of wanted, and it's more indicative to show that they just understand it. Like there's something that they just get now that they didn't within past games, and we could be getting a lot more cool features stemming from that as a result. Like clearly they're more comfortable with this sort of online game now, so who's to say they don't have a brand new mode that's, takes online even a step further. Maybe you get more than 8-person battles or something like that. It could be very interesting, and it's something I want to keep my eye out for. All right, so with that out of the way, those are the reasons why I think Splatoon 3 could be a 10 out of 10 actual Switch masterpiece. Let me know if you agree with this down in the comments below. And yeah, I'm stoked for Splatoon 3. I really wasn't before this Splatfest thing, and honestly, it's not like they added so much into this game to be like super excited for, but at the same time, I just love Splatoon, and just getting back into the Splatfest kind of made me remember like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I played a lot of Splatoon 2 and I can't wait for 3. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new. With that out of the way, I'm Thomas from the Switch Top signing off. Peace.